Okay, I think we are live. So, welcome to the lowest of the lo-fi ever with an ancient computer, an ancient camera, and an onboard microphone. So, hopefully, you can hear me. So, obviously, I've had the worst technical difficulties today, and there's nothing that will send a person into like absolute technology rage than a program that isn't working properly. So that's what I had today. And since I don't want to get into the YouTube doghouse, I'm trying to keep up with the Friday schedule. So I thought, let's give live streaming a chance, see what happens. So, I don't necessarily want to rehash everything that was in my video because that will probably come out, I don't know, next week with any luck. But whatever, we can chat about general movies and just see where it goes. So I don't know about you guys, but this week there has been a lot of talk about Snow White, and most of it, as you well know, is negative. And there's a lot of leading up to Snow White. There was a lot of sort of the race stuff, and I really hate that kind of thing because it's just a sort of such a cheap shot, because there's actually so much more that's wrong with the movie. And it kind of touches on the video that I was going to do today. And that is just how Hollywood has just lost the ability to sort of tell a story anymore. Way too much emphasis has been put on sort of post-production technology and all the bells and whistles and that you can do. And it's really just become a thing where people are sort of putting lipstick on a pig, and yeah, it just doesn't really hit with audiences anymore. And so what it got me thinking of is the Harry Potter. Let me switch gears here. What it got me thinking of is the Harry Potter remake that HBO is doing. And when they started talking about that, I was very, very, very excited. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. Like, if there's a trivia night, I will dominate, And so I love the movies. I love the books. I've watched them and read them all tons of times. So any chance to see more of that, I was all for. And then I started to hear a lot of like pessimism, people saying, no, they're going to screw it up. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. It will be bad. And I thought, it was just straight up pessimism. And a lot of it came from Doctor Who fans, because Doctor Who fans experienced something similar when, after, who was it that left? I don't know. I can't remember the doctor's name. And you'll notice that about me on live streams. I totally forget words. David Tennant. After David Tennant and Matt Smith, it just kind of took a nosedive until it got worse and worse and worse. And then it just sort of died completely for many fans. And when my friends who were very much fans of Doctor Who started complaining about it, I would just say, hey, what is the big deal? You still got, your DVD collection. Nobody can go through history and take that away from you. What's the big deal? But now I see what the big deal is, because now it's happening with Harry Potter, which is my favorite. So anyway, so it's like, first it started with the Snape casting. And the thing about the Snape casting is, I've already went into it on a video, but it's not about race. It's not that the fans are so incapable of seeing anybody but a white guy on screen. What it is, it's just awful, awful casting. It's just a bad, artistic decision. So it's like that sort of opened the door to me for, okay, these guys can actually make bad decisions here. Then, I was, while researching this video that will probably come out next week, I discovered that there really are a lot of things that Hollywood has started to do to movies over the last 10 or 15 years, usually in post-production, and they can't help themselves. They have to do this over processing to the I don't want to call it film because it's all digital now, but the film. And it just, everything is left with such a sort of ultra clean, sanitized, surreal feeling, and not in a really cool, heightened way. It just sort of detracts from it feeling realistic. So now, now I've worked myself up, and I'm afraid that that's what they're going to do with Harry Potter. So now I'm worried. Now I'm in the pessimistic camp for the Harry Potter remake. So we shall see how it goes. So, a lot of times with these movie review channels, people can't help but, go towards pessimistic talk. So, what pisses us off, what disappoints us, what we'd rather see, what they should have done. It's a lot of negative, 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 negative. But just to sort of try and lighten the mood today, somebody might ask, okay, Angela, so what is a good movie? If we know all the things you hate, what is considered a good movie in your eyes? So no surprise, I do prefer older movies. And I think there are some movies that just will stand the test of time. Just, you can ask me on my deathbed and I will still say that Tombstone is just a movie that cannot be beat. Now, Tombstone is kind of tricky because it is based on actual people and like the real life shootout at the OK Corral. So there's an element of, well, is it really great writing if they're basing it on a historical, event? But yes, yes, I think it counts, because it's like, although the broad strokes are based on history, all of the dialogue, which is what made it special, in particular Val Kilmer's lines, like there is not another movie that is more quotable than Tombstone. For those who have actually seen Tombstone, I think they would agree. Movies like Jurassic Park, the first one, every other one after the first one, they lost it. They lost the magic, they lost the charm, and it just didn't have the same impact. And it wasn't, as far as Jurassic Park was concerned, it's not that when you have a series of movies, like it's not like, well, you've seen it once, so every other time after that it will naturally be worse. I don't believe that. I think you can take, in the right hands, you can take the same sort of group of characters, same scenario, meaning like in the case of Jurassic Park, dinosaurs are real, and you can still make movies that will be as interesting as the first one. But with the Jurassic Park films, it's like they just fell into that trap where they were impressed by their own budget. It's like, how much CGI can we sink into this, that kind of thing. And then once you do that, it just naturally has a limit of how awesome it could be. So yeah. And then there are, of course, I have no problem saying I like chick flicks a lot. Not all chick flicks, but things like Steel Magnolias, The Family Stone, anything. And when you try and sort of analyze, well, what makes a good movie, Angela? I think one of the best things a movie can do is dialogue. And the thing is, is it seems to be that if you want a good script, it has to be written by someone who knows good dialogue. And who knows good dialogue? Someone who themselves, I suspect, are interesting. Now, what does that mean? Have you ever seen someone, maybe it's a YouTuber online, who is talking about something like that you just couldn't care less about? I noticed this with a lot of like not a lot, but a handful of like beauty YouTubers for all, of all things. It's like sometimes you could find a YouTuber that is talking about something you don't really care about, but they have this ability to talk up and tell stories during their, spiel that just suck an audience in. And it's like, it's those people who are just interesting to listen to. They have the gift of conversation. They know how to keep a conversation flowing. They know, how to tell a story. And it's like, you need a person like that to write scripts. And that's when you get the scripts that have dialogue that become lines, when you're out with your friends and you start quoting like lines from movies. It's like, you were, they had a good script writer on those type of movies. I do not claim to be anywhere near that caliber of a conversationalist, but I can recognize it when I see it. So yeah. So anyway, that is all I have to say today about the movie industry. And hopefully next week I will not have the same technical difficulties and I will be able to upload at the normal time. So see you then, guys. Bye.